Listen, I did not kill Mysterio. The drones did.
I'm not Spider-Man. I mean, what would make you think that I was Spider-Man? I'm not Spider-Man.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Starkside. While you're here, please support the channel by hitting the like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe as well as a notification bell. Today we'll be talking about the Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive upgraded suit Spider-Man. This might be my last figure review of 2021, I hope not. Anyway, here we have Spider-Man in the standard Marvel Legends packaging here. At the front we have a movie logo, well, not a movie logo, it just has the same font and color as No Way Home, and a nice label that says Upgraded Suit and Spider-Man. At the top we have a nice image of the Spider logo for MCU Spider-Man. At the side we have a nice artwork of Spider-Man in his upgraded suit, same on the other side. At the back we have a brief bio of the character. If you want to read it, you can pause the video. And that's that. Alright, let's get Spider-Man out of the packaging.
I am Spider-Man, and I've really messed up.
And here we have Spider-Man in his upgraded suit. I actually wasn't planning on getting this figure from my collection. I already have the first Far From Home Spider-Man from the 2019 Molten Man wave, but as the movie date approaches, I just suddenly felt, I must have this figure. The movie is actually delayed here in the Philippines, so that just really sucks. Anyway, here we are. Before we talk about the figure itself, let's go over the accessories. Being a Walmart exclusive figure, he doesn't come with a Build-A-Figure piece, but he does come with 2 pairs of alternate hands and this web accessory here. Taking a closer look at the alternate hands, so we have this grabbing hands here. These are sculpted nicely. These are just the same hands that came with the first upgraded suit Spider-Man. The only change being the slight difference in the shade of black here. I actually prefer this shade of black here. I think it looks more solid, looks cleaner. The flipping hands are done nicely as well. These are also just the same hands that came with the first upgraded suit Spider-Man. And like with the grabbing hands, the slight difference in the shade of black is probably the only new thing here. One thing that I do want to show here is that if you have the comic Miles Morales figure, you can use the wall crawling hands from that figure on this one. It is actually a very snug fit and I think it looks great. You can also use the wall crawling and fisted hands from the new Gamerverse Miles Morales figure, but I think they look a little bit big for this figure here, so yep, I prefer using the hands from the comic Miles Morales instead. He also comes with this neat web accessory here, so I think this looks great. It's made of this translucent plastic here. I'm actually not sure how to use this because of the weird triangle shape here at the end. I guess it's up to you, but for me, I did try doing the upside down pose here for Spidey, and man, that looks very cool. Taking a closer look at the figure itself, starting with the head sculpts, I do love what we're getting here. I think this head sculpt here captures the likeness of Tom Holland as Peter Parker. We've actually seen this head sculpt before with the 2-pack Iron Spider figure. Comparing the two head sculpts here, I think this new one looks better. Both of these do look great, but sometimes I feel like the paint apps and face printing tech on this old one kind of makes it a little bit digitized or like superimposed. I don't know the right term. This new one has some more solid paint apps. I also think this new one has the better flesh tone here. It looks more natural. And the hair sculpt is better as well because of the darker brown paint apps here. So yeah, I like this new head sculpt even more. I also want to share that aside from the paint apps, another difference between the two here is that the hole on this new one is much more deep. That's why the neck here doesn't look that long. But when you use the previous head sculpt, yep, the neck looks long, right? Anyway, switching it up with the alternate masked head sculpt. And yep, we have a masked Spider-Man. I don't have the old Far From Home Spider-Man physically with me right now, but I will do my best to show some comparisons. I think this masked head sculpt here looks great. The lenses are done well. Nice details in the frame here. Web lines are sculpted nicely. I do prefer it if they painted them, but it is what it is. I'm loving the shade of red that they used here. It isn't that bright, so I like that. However, I am not seeing any texturing here, but the paint apps on this head sculpt look clean at the very least. I want to point out that I don't think this head sculpt here is the same one that we got from the first upgraded suit Spider-Man figure. This head sculpt here does have a larger gap between the lenses as compared to the old one in the image from the right. The difference is very small. I might be wrong, but that's just how I see it. If you do know though, please let me know in the comments below. Taking a closer look at the rest of the figure here, so most of the pieces are reused from the old Far From Home figure. The main difference is in the torso and the hip pieces. First thing I want to point out is that the torso piece on the old Far From Home figure was made of that glossy plastic that made the figure look very cheap. This new one is made of this flat matte red plastic here, which I do like a lot. Without that gloss feel, this figure actually looks really good. I think part of the reason why I didn't like the design of this particular suit was because of the way it was adapted in action figure form. This change here might make me like the suit design now. I actually had the same feelings with the integrated suit design, which I also didn't like at first, and I only started to like that suit design after seeing it in action figure in my hand, you know. Second thing I want to point out is the difference in the web pattern in the torso here. The web pattern on this new one here is much more evenly spaced. I'm actually not that big of a fan of Spider-Man suits with lots and lots of web lines. I prefer this evenly spaced pattern here. It looks much cleaner. And probably the last thing that I want to point out is the change in the suit design, the hip area here. The old figure has these black bands around the belt area, whereas this new one has that basic look with just the red belt section. And when it comes to Spider-Man, I think less is more, so I do love this slight design change here. Moving on from the torso and the hip pieces, the arms on this figure look great. These are reused. You can see that the joints aren't pinless here. We're getting these nice black paint apps again here. We don't get the texturing here like what we did from the previous figure, but I gotta be honest, I'm not really bothered about that. This solid black here looks great either way. I actually think that the solid black paint apps here make some other details pop even more. Like this black band lining at the edges of the red portions of the suit, so I think it looks even more obvious this time. I know it could have been better if there was texturing here, but yeah, it doesn't really bother me that much. Same goes for the legs, so these are also reused. No pinless technology here. Nice solid black paint apps. Nice sculpted web lines on the boots. This is another change we got from the previous figure. This time they actually painted the soles here black, which I do love a lot. I did try painting the soles on my previous Far From Home figure because it was driving me nuts. So it does feel really good seeing this done on this new figure. Overall, I am actually very satisfied with the paint apps and the sculpt on this new upgraded suit figure. Let's go over the articulation. So Spider-Man can look up that far and he can look down as well. His head does rotate. No forward backward shifting motion there. No neck pivot. His arms bend upward very far, just at the 90-degree mark, and they can bend down all the way as well. He's got this butterfly joints to move his shoulders forward and backward. His shoulders do rotate 360. He has a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. His wrists do rotate and move up and down, so this wrist movement here is the same for all his alternate hands. He has an ab crunch forward and backward as well. That looks great. He has a waist swivel. His legs can kick forward very far and just a little bit backwards. His hips do move outward very far. I like this. This looks great. He has an upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. His ankles move up and down, and he also has ankle pivot. Now for some figure comparisons, here's the new upgraded suit Spider-Man next to some other MCU Spider-Man suits that I already have. We have the Stark suit from Spider-Man Homecoming, the Iron Spider from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, the integrated suit from Spider-Man No Way Home, and the classic suit from What If. And since I love the classic suit design here from What If, I want to try this Peter Parker head sculpt here. I think it looks great. The old Tom Holland head sculpt actually made the neck look really long. So this new head sculpt here will give us a look on how the MCU Peter Parker will look like in his classic Spider-Man suit. And here's the new upgraded suit Spider-Man next to the Netflix Daredevil. So it was recently announced that Charlie Cox will be returning as the Man Without Fear in the MCU. And I do hope these two team up at some point in the future. In the near future, I guess. I hope. I wish. Anyway, moving on. Here's the new upgraded suit Spider-Man next to the No Way Home Doctor Strange and the Avengers Endgame Iron Man. And I think the scale here looks great. So that's my review of the Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive upgraded suit Spider-Man. I think this figure has great sculpt, great paint apps. I love the little improvements that they made from the previous figure. Great articulation. The accessories could have been more, but I like that they included a web accessory. So overall, I like this figure. If you're wondering where I got this figure, I ordered this from a local toy store here in the Philippines called K Viper Collectibles. If you want to check that out, there's a link in the description below. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this figure. Let me know what you think of my review. Please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you still haven't, hit that subscribe as well as the notification bell. You can also follow me on social media, links in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy holidays!